Great welcome to Volume 3 of the 66 Laws of Illuminati. 13th Law, the Law of Influence, Ripple of Influence. In the interconnected tapestry of lives, Adam realized that his actions had the power to create ripples that extended far beyond his own journey. The law of influence became his guide, showing him that every word, every gesture, had the potential to touch hearts and ignite change. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his guide, his actions as his tools, his persistence as his strength, his resilience as his shield, his adaptability as his ally, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, Adam embraced the law of influence with intention, ready to make a positive impact on the world. Amidst the bustling city, Adam realized that he was not just a solitary traveler on his journey, but a part of a larger web of human connection. The law of influence revealed that his actions could inspire, uplift, and shape the lives of those around him. With determination in his heart, he embraced the responsibility of wielding his influence for the greater good. Influence, he understood, was not about power, it was about service. Adam dedicated himself to positively impacting the lives of others through his words and actions. He sought out opportunities to uplift those in need, to offer encouragement, and to lead by example. Through this commitment, he transformed his journey into a catalyst for change. Adam integrated practices that honed his ability to influence others in a positive way. He cultivated active listening skills, engaging with genuine empathy when interacting with his community. He sought to understand the needs and aspirations of those he encountered, offering guidance and support where he could. He understood that influence required a heart that genuinely cared for the well-being of others. But influence wasn't just about grand gestures, it was also about the subtle ripples created by everyday interactions. Adam recognized that even the smallest acts of kindness could have a profound impact on someone's day. The law of influence guided him to infuse each moment with intention, leaving behind a trail of positivity. As he wielded his influence, Adam encountered moments of doubt and uncertainty. He questioned whether his efforts were making a difference, and whether his voice was being heard. In those moments, he turned to the stories of those who had used their influence to create positive change, drawing inspiration from their perseverance and dedication. Adam's mentorship program thrived as he embraced the law of influence. His genuine care for the well-being of his community resonated deeply, attracting individuals who sought guidance and support. The ripples of his positive influence extended far beyond his immediate reach. The law of influence had shown him that he was not just shaping his own destiny, but contributing to the tapestry of human connection. One day, as he stood before a mirror, Adam looked into his own eyes and affirmed, "I am an influencer of positivity." It became his affirmation, a reminder that influence was a gift to be wielded responsibly. He understood that his words and actions were like stones cast into a pond, creating ripples that spread far and wide. In a moment of reflection by the river, where his journey had first begun, Adam observed the water's surface shimmering with the reflections of the surrounding landscape. The dance of light on the water whispered the truth of the law of influence, a truth that reminded him that every action he took had the potential to create a reflection of positivity in the lives of others. As the sun painted the sky with shades of pink and purple, Adam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the law of influence. It had transformed his journey into a symphony of connections, his interactions into opportunities for upliftment. He recognized that influence wasn't just about popularity, it was a call to be a beacon of positivity and change. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his North Star, his actions guided by determination, his persistence unwavering, his resilience steadfast, his adaptability at the ready, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, and the law of influence as his beacon, Adam looked ahead with anticipation. The law of influence had become his calling, urging him to leave behind a trail of positivity in the lives he touched. As he continued to wield his influence with intention and care, he knew that he was sowing seeds of transformation that would blossom into a garden of collective growth and empowerment. 14th Law, the Law of Empathy, Empathy's Bridge. In the symphony of human experience, Adam discovered that empathy was the bridge that connected hearts and allowed understanding to flourish. The law of empathy became his guide, showing him that compassion was a universal language that transcended differences. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his guide, his actions as his tools, his persistence as his strength, his resilience as his shield, his adaptability as his ally, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, Adam embraced the power of empathy with an open heart, ready to connect with others on a deeper level. Amidst the diverse tapestry of lives, Adam realized that the journey of growth was enriched by the ability to see the world through another's eyes. The law of empathy revealed that empathy was the cornerstone of authentic connection. It allowed him to understand, relate to, and support the experiences of those around him. With determination in his heart, he embraced empathy as a force of unity. Empathy, he understood, was not about fixing others' problems, it was about offering a listening ear and a compassionate heart. Adam made a conscious effort to put himself in others' shoes, seeking to understand their joys, struggles, and fears. Through this practice, he transformed his interactions into bridges of understanding. Adam incorporated practices that nurtured his capacity for empathy. He engaged in active and compassionate listening, giving his full attention to those who sought his guidance. He practiced setting aside judgment, recognizing that each person's journey was unique and valid. He understood that empathy required the willingness to hold space for another's emotions. But empathy wasn't just about words, it was about presence. Adam recognized that sometimes the most meaningful way to show empathy was to simply be there for someone in their time of need. The law of empathy guided him to offer his support, even when words fell short. As he extended his empathy to others, Adam encountered moments of vulnerability and emotional depth. He learned to navigate the delicate space of holding another's pain while offering solace. In those moments, he turned to the stories of those who had mastered the art of empathy, drawing inspiration from their ability to touch hearts with their compassion. Adam's mentorship program thrived as he embraced the law of empathy. His genuine care and understanding created a safe space for individuals to share their thoughts and feelings. The bridges of empathy he built connected people from diverse backgrounds, fostering a sense of unity and shared humanity. The law of empathy had shown him that understanding was the currency of connection, and compassion was the glue that bound hearts. One day, as he stood before a mirror, Adam looked into his own eyes and affirmed, "I am an empathetic listener." It became his affirmation, a reminder that empathy was not just an abstract concept but an active practice. He understood that empathy was a choice to be fully present for others, to listen without judgment, and to extend a hand of understanding. In a moment of reflection by the river, where his journey had first begun, Adam watched as ripples spread across the water's surface. The interconnectedness of the ripples whispered the truth of the law of empathy, a truth that reminded him that his actions, like ripples, had the power to touch lives far beyond his immediate reach. As the sun painted the sky with warm hues of red and gold, Adam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the law of empathy. It had transformed his interactions into moments of shared understanding, his conversations into connections of the heart. He recognized that empathy wasn't just about offering solutions, it was about being a bridge of compassion that allowed others to feel heard and valued. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his North Star, his actions guided by determination, his persistence unwavering, his resilience steadfast, his adaptability at the ready, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, and the power of empathy as his bridge, Adam looked ahead with anticipation. The law of empathy had become his guide, urging him to reach across divides and connect with others' hearts. As he continued to cultivate empathy, he knew that he was fostering a culture of understanding, kindness, and unity, one interaction at a time. 15th Law, the law of connection, threads of connection. In the intricate tapestry of existence, Adam realized that every connection he forged was a thread that wove together the fabric of his journey. The law of connection became his mentor, revealing that relationships were the canvas upon which his story was painted. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his guide, his actions as his tools, his persistence as his strength, his resilience as his shield, his adaptability as his ally, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, Adam embraced the law of connection with intention, ready to nurture and cultivate meaningful relationships. In the heart of bustling humanity, Adam realized that his journey was enriched by the relationships he formed along the way. The law of connection illuminated his path, showing him that each person he met had the potential to be a source of inspiration, learning, and growth. With determination in his heart, he embraced the art of building and nurturing connections. Connection, he understood, was not just about networking, it was about shared experiences, mutual understanding, and genuine care. Adam approached every interaction with a willingness to learn, to listen, and to be present. Through this approach, he transformed his journey into a tapestry of relationships that enriched his life. Adam integrated practices that fostered the growth of meaningful connections. He engaged in active listening, giving his full attention to those he interacted with. He practiced vulnerability, sharing his own experiences and stories to create a bridge of understanding. He understood that connection required authenticity and the courage to reveal one's true self. But connection wasn't just about the present, it was about cultivating relationships that stood the test of time. Adam recognized that maintaining connections required effort and intention. The law of connection guided him to stay in touch, to check in on friends and mentors, and to contribute positively to the lives of those around him. As he wove threads of connection, Adam encountered moments of joy and shared growth. He learned that the beauty of connection was in the exchange of wisdom, laughter, and support. In those moments, he turned to the stories of those who had mastered the art of forging deep and lasting connections, drawing inspiration from their ability to create bonds that transcended distance and time. Adam's mentorship program thrived as he embraced the law of connection. His genuine care for the individuals he interacted with created a sense of community and belonging. The threads of connection he wove extended beyond the program, creating a network of support that uplifted and inspired. The law of connection had shown him that relationships were the heartbeats that gave rhythm to his journey. One day, as he stood before a mirror, Adam looked into his own eyes and affirmed, "I am a weaver of connections." It became his affirmation, a reminder that every interaction was an opportunity to cultivate a bond, to offer a listening ear, and to extend a hand of friendship. He understood that connections were not just about quantity, they were about depth and quality. In a moment of reflection in the same park where his journey had begun, Adam observed a spider weaving an intricate web. The delicate threads whispered the truth of the law of connection, a truth that reminded him that relationships, like webs, were a delicate yet powerful creation that required time, care, and intention. As the sun painted the sky with hues of orange and purple, Adam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the law of connection. It had transformed his interactions into moments of shared growth, his relationships into pillars of strength. He recognized that connection wasn't just about transactions, it was about nurturing bonds that enriched his journey. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his North Star, his actions guided by determination, his persistence unwavering, his resilience steadfast, his adaptability at the ready, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, and the law of connection as his mentor, Adam looked ahead with anticipation. The law of connection had become his guide, urging him to nurture relationships that would add depth and meaning to his journey. As he continued to weave threads of connection with care and intention, he knew that he was creating a network of support and shared growth that would stand as a testament to the power of human connection. 16th Law, the law of communication, echoes of expression. In the tapestry of understanding, Adam realized that effective communication was the brush that painted his thoughts and feelings onto the canvas of connection. The law of communication became his mentor, revealing that words were vessels of power that could inspire, uplift, and create bridges of understanding. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his guide, his actions as his tools, his persistence as his strength, his resilience as his shield, his adaptability as his ally, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, the law of connection as his mentor, Adam embraced the art of communication. With intention, ready to express himself clearly and connect with others on a deeper level. In the midst of a world bustling with noise, Adam realized that communication was not just a conveyance of information, it was a dance of expression that could evoke emotions, convey intentions, and bridge gaps between hearts. The law of communication illuminated his path, showing him that every conversation was an opportunity to leave a lasting impression. With determination in his heart, he embraced the responsibility of using his words to inspire and connect. Communication, he understood, was not just about talking, it was about active listening and the art of articulation. Adam learned to listen with empathy, seeking to understand before responding. He practiced crafting his words with care, choosing language that resonated with his audience and conveyed his message effectively. Through this practice, he transformed his interactions into echoes of expression that resonated deeply. Adam integrated practices that honed his ability to communicate effectively. He engaged in storytelling, recognizing that narratives were powerful tools to convey ideas and emotions. He practiced nonverbal communication, using gestures and body language to enhance his message. He understood that communication required an awareness of both verbal and nonverbal cues. But communication wasn't just about talking, it was about fostering connections through dialogue. Adam recognized that effective communication required genuine engagement, not just one-sided monologues. The law of communication guided him to ask questions, seek feedback, and create spaces for meaningful exchanges. As he refined the art of communication, Adam encountered moments of clarity and connection. He learned that the beauty of communication was in the mutual understanding that emerged from thoughtful dialogues. In those moments, he turned to the stories of those who had mastered the art of impactful communication, drawing inspiration from their ability to convey complex ideas with simplicity and elegance. Adam's mentorship program flourished as he embraced the law of communication. His ability to express himself clearly and engage in meaningful conversations resonated deeply with his community. The echoes of his communication reached far and wide, creating bridges of understanding and shared growth. The law of communication had shown him that words were not just tools, they were bridges that connected hearts and minds. One day, as he stood before a mirror, Adam looked into his own eyes and affirmed, "I am an eloquent communicator." It became his affirmation, a reminder that communication was not just about words, but about the intention behind them. He understood that his words had the power to inspire, to uplift, and to create lasting connections. In a moment of reflection by the river, where his journey had first begun, Adam watched as his words floated away on the gentle breeze. The whispered echoes of his expression carried the truth of the law of communication, a truth that reminded him that his words, like ripples, had the power to travel far and wide, leaving their mark on the world. As the sun painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, Adam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the law of communication. It had transformed his conversations into meaningful exchanges, his words into bridges of connection. He recognized that communication wasn't just a skill, it was an art that allowed him to leave an indelible imprint on the hearts of others. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his North Star, his actions guided by determination, his persistence unwavering, his resilience steadfast, his adaptability at the ready, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, the law of connection as his mentor, and the art of communication as his guide, Adam looked ahead with anticipation. The law of communication had become his compass, urging him to use his words to create bridges of understanding and connection. As he continued to refine the way he expressed himself, he knew that he was leaving behind echoes that would reverberate through the hearts and minds of those he touched. 17th Law, the law of self-belief, unshakable confidence. In the tapestry of self-discovery, Adam realized that his journey was a canvas where the brushstrokes of self-belief painted the colors of his aspirations. The law of self-belief became his guide, revealing that confidence was the cornerstone upon which success was built. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his guide, his actions as his tools, his persistence as his strength, his resilience as his shield, his adaptability as his ally, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, the law of connection as his mentor, the art of communication as his guide. Adam embraced the power of self-belief with unwavering determination, ready to conquer self-doubt and rise to his full potential. Amid the cacophony of doubts and uncertainties, Adam realized that self-belief was the guiding star that illuminated his path. The law of self-belief revealed that his journey would be marked by challenges, but his belief in his abilities would be the anchor that kept him steady. With determination in his heart, he embraced the courage to believe in himself, even when faced with adversity. Self-belief, he understood, was not just blind confidence, it was a deep-rooted understanding of his worth and potential. Adam recognized his strengths and acknowledged his areas of growth, understanding that self-belief required a realistic assessment of his abilities. Through this understanding, he transformed his journey into a reflection of his inner strength. Adam integrated practices that nurtured the blossoming of self-belief. He celebrated his achievements, no matter how small, and used them as building blocks for his confidence. He reframed challenges as opportunities for growth, recognizing that setbacks were not signs of failure but stepping stones toward success. He understood that self-belief required resilience in the face of adversity. But self-belief wasn't just about celebrating successes, it was also about embracing failures as part of the journey. Adam recognized that setbacks were not a reflection of his worth, but simply moments to learn and pivot. The law of self-belief guided him to view failures as valuable lessons on his path to mastery. As he nurtured his self-belief, Adam encountered moments of doubt and vulnerability. He learned that the journey of self-belief was not linear, it had peaks and valleys. In those moments, he turned to the stories of those who had triumphed over self-doubt, drawing inspiration from their ability to overcome obstacles with unshakable confidence. Adam's mentorship program thrived as he embraced the law of self-belief. His self-assuredness became a beacon for his community, inspiring them to believe in their own potential. The unshakable confidence he exuded became infectious, creating a culture of self-belief and empowerment. The law of self-belief had shown him that success was not just about skills, it was about the mindset of believing in one's capacity to overcome challenges. One day, as he stood before a mirror, Adam looked into his own eyes and affirmed, "I am confident in my journey." It became his affirmation a reminder that self-belief was not an external validation, but an inner conviction. He understood that his belief in himself was the force that would propel him forward, even in the face of uncertainty. In a moment of reflection in the same park where his journey had begun, Adam observed a tree standing tall and unwavering amidst the changing seasons. The tree's resilience whispered the truth of the law of self-belief, a truth that reminded him that confidence was not a fleeting emotion, but a foundation of strength that withstood the tests of time. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow on the landscape, Adam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the law of self-belief. It had transformed his doubts into stepping stones, his fears into fuel for growth. He recognized that self-belief wasn't just a mindset, it was a force that could move mountains and shape destinies. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his North Star, his actions guided by determination, his persistence unwavering, his resilience steadfast, his adaptability at the ready, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, the law of connection as his mentor, the art of communication as his guide, and the power of self-belief as his armor, Adam looked ahead with anticipation. The law of self-belief had become his shield, urging him to trust in his journey and his abilities. As he continued to nurture his unshakable confidence, he knew that he was embodying the spirit of resilience and courage that would propel him to the heights of success he aspired to reach. 18th Law, the Law of Authenticity, unveiling authenticity. In the tapestry of identity, Adam realized that his truest self was the most powerful compass guiding his journey. The law of authenticity became his guiding star, revealing that authenticity was the foundation upon which genuine success was built. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his guide, his actions as his tools, his persistence as his strength, his resilience as his shield, his adaptability as his ally, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, the law of connection as his mentor, the art of communication as his guide. The power of self-belief as his armor, Adam embraced the authenticity of his being with unwavering determination, ready to walk the path of genuine expression and true alignment. Amid the noise of societal expectations, Adam realized that authenticity was not just a choice, it was a responsibility he owed to himself. The law of authenticity illuminated his path, showing him that true success could only be achieved when he was true to his values, beliefs, and passions. With determination in his heart, he embraced the courage to unveil his authentic self, even in the face of conformity. Authenticity, he understood, was not about fitting into molds, it was about embracing his uniqueness and celebrating his quirks. Adam learned to embrace his strengths and vulnerabilities, recognizing that his authenticity lay in his genuine self-expression. Through this acceptance, he transformed his journey into a canvas where his true colors shone. Adam integrated practices that nurtured the blossoming of authenticity. He practiced self-reflection, asking himself if his actions were aligned with his core values. He made choices that were true to himself, even when they diverged from popular opinions. He understood that authenticity required a commitment to living in alignment with his true self. But authenticity wasn't just about actions, it was also about honoring his emotions and feelings. Adam recognized that his authentic voice emerged when he acknowledged and expressed his true emotions. The law of authenticity guided him to be vulnerable and open, allowing his genuine self to shine through. As he embraced his authenticity, Adam encountered moments of doubt and vulnerability. He learned that the journey of authenticity was not without challenges, it required breaking free from the expectations of others and daring to be different. In those moments, he turned to the stories of those who had walked the path of authenticity, drawing inspiration from their ability to stand firm in their genuine selves. Adam's mentorship program thrived as he embraced the law of authenticity. His willingness to be open and authentic created a safe space for individuals to express themselves fully. The authenticity he exuded became a beacon that attracted those who sought to embrace their true selves. The law of authenticity had shown him that success was not just about external achievements, it was about living a life that was in harmony with one's soul. One day, as he stood before a mirror, Adam looked into his own eyes and affirmed, "I am authentically me." It became his affirmation, a reminder that authenticity was not just a state of being, but a conscious choice. He understood that his true self was his most powerful asset, and embracing it fully was the key to unlocking his potential. In a moment of reflection in the same park where his journey had begun, Adam observed a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, unfolding its wings to reveal vibrant colors. The butterfly's transformation whispered the truth of the law of authenticity, a truth that reminded him that authenticity was the journey of unveiling one's true essence, no matter how unconventional or unique. As the moon rose in the night sky, casting a soft glow on the landscape, Adam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the law of authenticity. It had transformed his journey into a tapestry of genuine expression, his interactions into moments of true connection. He recognized that authenticity wasn't just a goal, it was a way of being that brought him closer to his true self. With his purpose as his anchor, his vision as his North Star, his actions guided by determination, his persistence unwavering, his resilience steadfast, his adaptability at the ready, his focus as his compass, his discipline as his forge, his pursuit of mastery as his beacon, his mantle of an eternal student as his guide, the virtue of patience as his ally, the law of influence as his beacon, the power of empathy as his bridge, the law of connection as his mentor, the art of communication as his guide, the power of self-belief as his armor, and the authenticity of his being as his guide, Adam looked ahead with anticipation. The law of authenticity had become his North Star, urging him to embrace his true self and live a life in alignment with his essence. As he continued to unveil his authenticity with courage and grace, he knew that he was creating a path of true fulfillment and genuine success that would inspire others to do the same. Absorb and comprehend the upcoming chapters, where the remaining 54 laws of the Illuminati lie, and gain advantage from their wisdom.